Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We are back again with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Part 1 of this series, where we break down Alchemists, also walks through how we do rankings for all of these different classes if you need it. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. If you need a walkthrough of Arcanist mechanics, there's a link down below for my guide on all 25 base classes. The way Arcanist combines both sorcerer and wizard spellcasting mechanics is pretty cool, even if it's not my cup of tea. Spellcasting is incredibly powerful in this game, and Arcanists get 9 spell levels of a wizard spellbook. You get more flexibility at the cost of less spell castings, but obviously this could be made up for with the mythic ability Abundant Casting. The damage-related exploits aren't impressive, but the ones for increasing difficulty class or creating more spell slots can be very useful. Overall, I give this class a C. It's not bad at all, but there are multiple superior archetype options, so honestly I don't think there's a good reason to pick this. Next is Brown Fur Transmuter. You lose 2 rankings of Arcanist exploits, which isn't really a big deal because it's not like there's a ton of useful options. You also lose the level 20 ability Magical Supremacy, but that's fine because its replacement is better anyway. In exchange, you gain Powerful Change, which lets you use points from your arcane reservoir to boost attribute bonuses from transmutation spells. For example, Bull Strength would usually give you a +4 bonus to Strength, but this class can bump that up to +6. Shared Transmutation lets you use points from your arcane reservoir to change the range on any transmutation spell from personal to touch. So for example, Sea Mantle is a level 8 spell that gives you a +8 cover bonus to AC, and most other classes can only cast this on themselves. Brown Fur lets you give it to the whole party. It can also use Dragonkind to turn your entire front line into dragons. Finally, Transmutation Supremacy increases the Powerful Change bonus from +2 to +4. I give this class an S. There's a strong case to be made that Brown Fur Transmuter is the most powerful buffing class in the game. Keep in mind that in addition to the amazing ways this class can buff your party, it still gets 9 levels of a wizard spellbook, which means it's no slouch in combat. Unquestionably, this class makes the game easier to play. The next subclass is Eldritch Font. You lose 3 rankings of the Arcanist exploits, which is a little steep, but still not a death knell for the class. You also lose Magical Supremacy at level 20, but you gain a better option. In exchange for all of this, the class gains Font of Power, which gives them 1 additional spell slot for each spell level they can cast. However, the number of spells this class can prepare for each level is reduced by 1. This is a big yikes for me. Basically, there will be multiple levels, many of them in the early game, where technically you gain a new spell level, but you won't be able to prepare any spells, so it won't matter. Heightened Spell will help mitigate this to some degree, but your spell progression is still essentially slowed. You'll also gain Eldritch Surge, which lets you, as a swift action, increase the caster level or difficulty check of a spell by 2. This ability will fatigue you, or if you are already fatigued, it will exhaust you. If you are already exhausted, you cannot use this ability. At level 7, you can also use this ability to make 2 attack rolls with a spell and take the better result. At level 13, you can use it to force a creature to re-roll a saving throw against the spell. Finally, at level 20, you gain Bottomless Well, which, with a full round action, allows you to prepare new spells and regain some of your arcane reservoir. I give this class a C. It's asking too much for your spell progression to be hampered during many early levels when you desperately need all the power you can get. The extra DC or forcing enemies to roll twice is nice, but it's not enough. The class is still a full spellcaster, so I won't rank it lower, but I would never pick this. Next is Nature Mage. You lose the Arcanist spell list and get the Druid spell list instead. I rate this class a C because it serves no purpose. There is nothing inherently to gain by adding Druid spells to an Arcanist. Next is Phantasmal Mage, which is the gnome race-specific class. You lose 3 rankings of Arcanist exploits, which again isn't the end of the world. You also lose magical supremacy, but you gain a different option with its own merits. In exchange, you gain arcane meta magic, which takes away your ability to increase a spell's caster level using your arcane reservoir. Instead, you can use points from the pool to activate meta magic abilities. These meta magic abilities can only be applied to illusion spells, they last for 2 rounds, and they all cost a free action. At level 5 for 1 point, you can use meta magic extended, reach, or selective. At level 11 for 2 points, you can use meta magic persistent or empowered. At level 17 for 3 points, you can use meta magic maximize, or for 4 points, you can use meta magic quickened. At level 20, the cost for all meta magic abilities is reduced by 1. I give this class an A. Being able to use arcane reservoir to place persistent on high level illusion spells is a pretty big deal. Unfortunately, as you get later in the game, more enemies pop up that are immune to these spells, but it's still a very powerful crowd control option. This class and Brown Fur Transmuter are why I say Arcanist doesn't really serve a purpose. You choose this class if you want crowd control, and if you want buffing or damage, you go with Brown Fur. Next is the Unlettered Arcanist. You ditch the Wizard spellbook in exchange for the Witch spell list and the Familiar. Witch is great for its spell list in conjunction with hexes, not the spells on their own. This class is a C and serves no purpose. Quick note before we review White Mage, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you subscribing and hitting the like button. This information tells me which content the channel is enjoying and helps my videos spread to more people. I really appreciate all of the support. The final archetype is White Mage. You lose 2 rankings of Arcanist exploits, which isn't that bad. In exchange, you can use 1 point from the Arcane Reservoir to expend a spell slot and cast a cure spell of the same level as if you were a cleric. At 10th level, for 5 points from your pool, you can cast Breath of Life. Arcane casters are just not meant to be healers, and giving them a list of cure spells doesn't change that. Not to mention, this class has no way to channel energy, which is really a requirement for any healing based archetype. I give this class a C, 3 guesses why. That wraps up my rankings for Arcanist and all of his archetypes. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, share this content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.